versus Nathaniel Smith. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the feature match area. Brian David Marshall here with Marshall Sutcliffe, and a wild Greg Orange has appeared. I meant to say Greg Orange when I said Nathaniel Smith.
So set the stage for us here, BDM. Shuhei Nakamura has more on the line than just another GP title.
Yeah. I mean, as a Hall of Famer, there's never a tremendous amount on the line for him. He gets the benefits of being in the Hall of Fame, which is being qualified for all the Pro Tours. He's had a quiet season, but really what he's fighting for here is a little piece of history. He has 6 Grand Prix wins in his career. This could be his 7th. Only Hall of Famers Kai Buda and 2-time Player of the Year Yuya Watanabe have done that in the history of the game. So Timberpack Wolf comes in against Undercity Troll.
That is a Herald of the Pantheon.
Herald of the Pantheon.
Which is ostensibly going to hold back the Undercity Troll
there's
here.
A couple of suppression bombs in Shuhei's deck. The card might be okay.
Nice. Also, it did hold back the Undercity Troll, allowing Shuhei to keep attacking here.
Yeah, no regeneration possibility for Greg on 2 green.
Right, green, and no 4th land, which is what Shuhei's at. Now, Greg's only missed 1 land drop, but could get ugly here. He's just going to trade it off.
There's a Lanoir Empath from the Japanese Hall of Famer.
So he's going to get a chance to scry 2 here.
Keeps one
He's
on
going to
top.
reveal the top card of his library. If it's a creature, he gets to draw it. It's an Orchard Spirit. Is that a land? Ooh, right in time and the right color.
Valerian Wardens.
Valerian Wardens, yep.
Yeah. Valerian Steel, Valerian Wardens. There's a Rocks Maulers.
Gee, this is just a beatdown here from Shuhei. Now, the Wardens did keep back any attacks here. But this is going to force Greg Orange to read the bones.
Yeah, looks like he keeps a land on top, pushes an Orchard Spirits, which isn't going to do much for him. Makes his 4th land drop. Pass the turn. He's going to take a little bit of a beating here. Wardens gets in the way of the Wolf. Rocks Maulers gets renowned. Oh, by the way, we're going to tap 5 mana. We're going to play a Totem Guide Heart Beast.
Yeah, and he's going to go get suppression bonds.
Yeah, go get suppression bonds.
He's got 2 of those in his deck.
Yep.
2 suppression bonds, so he can search up the rocks, search it up with the Totem Guide Heart Beast whenever he wants, and go get a premium removal spell out of his deck. Freeka's Disciple will help stem the bleeding. Shuhei can offer a trade here. He can just suppression bonds it and crunch.
That's the game.
That is the game. Wow, that was fast.
Yeah, I mean, Greg Orange stumbled, and Shuhei's deck is just not going to let him recover from that.
No, and it's not that Shuhei's deck is so amazing. It's pretty middle ground, but it's solid. Yeah. It's got a mana curve. It's got removal. It's got a few card advantage options like we saw with the Heart Beast and the Empath there. And it's got a decent curve. This is all you need to win at Limited.
And it has an in case of emergency break glass button.
Which is the
Tragic Arrogance.
Tragic Arrogance, absolutely.
And Tragic Arrogance is sweet in his deck with the suppression bond because you can really essentially wrath all your opponent's creatures by letting them keep the creature that you keep your enchantment on.
So you pick a creature for them to keep.
You pick a creature for them to keep.
It just happens to be the one that's chained up.
You also happen to say, I'm going to keep this enchantment.
Yeah. Keep that too. But yeah, Shuhei Nakamura, one of the best drafters ever. Fundamentally sound as well, and you see that in his draft style, and the deck that he's drafted here expresses that. Look, it's not over the top, it's not fancy, but it beats down, it's got combat tricks and removal, and it's got a decent curve. And, you put that in the hands of a Hall of Famer, and, Greg Orange, who played reasonable spells that game, missed a single land drop and was never in it.
I'm looking. I'm trying to figure out if there's maybe what is Gaia's Revenge cost? Is that an 8?
7.
It's a 7. So he's got 1 through 7s in his deck.
Does he?
Yeah. No, maybe no 6, but he's got an Anointer of Champions.
Yeah.
All the way up to Gaia's Revenge.
That's pretty great. He does have 2 of those Rocks Maulers. We saw one of them here. Those are the sort of the centerpiece of his top end. But if he does end up flooding out a little bit, he's got that guy's revenge like you mentioned too.
I was talking to Greg Orange a little bit after the draft. We were talking about his affection for the Somber World Alpha.
I'm sure he loves it.
He loves it. And he's like, I don't understand.
He had what?
He had 4. He had 4 in his draft deck that we saw at the beginning of the day. And he just seemed a little perplexed by the lack of respect for that card.
I am too.
He's like, look, I play a Knight of the Forward Order, or on turn 3, my opponent plays something, they think they're going to block it. I play a Somber World Alpha, I attack, they can't block it any longer.
Right.
He's like, this card. He's like, there were games where I played 2 of them, and my opponent just couldn't do anything.
No, I've seen that.
And he has one. He has one in this deck as well. Only one though. So we didn't see Greg Orange draft. Didn't get to see a ton of his deck there. But Reeve Soul, Eyeblight Assassin, the Undercity Troll, some, Unholy Hunger. And then, that Farika's Disciple was the first pick in the 3rd pack, so yeah, not a great. But he did get past a Mana Gorger Hydra with his 2nd pick in the 3rd
wow,
pack.
that's amazing. All right, looks like Dwynen's elite here for Shuhei Nakamura.
Yeah, and a Shambling Ghoul for Greg Orange. Followed up by a Hitchclaw Recluse.
Yeah, the Ghoul got in there for a couple, it looks like.
And there is that first picked Farika's Disciple.
Yeah, not bad here.
A Disciple for Shuhei Nakamura as
So
well.
we have a Disciple fight here. Read the bones for Greg Orange means he's not super likely to affect the board this turn, but he's moving his agenda forward. He's going to keep a land and ship a land, so maybe he will actually play a 2-drop here. Swamp. Another one.
He's got a Titanic Growth.
Well, that's interesting. That'll let him win any individual combat that he wants.
Well, except with a Farika's Disciple.
If Shuhei wants to trade them.
Okay.
Sure.
Timberpack Wolf. So suppression bonds.
Shuhei's just going to jam.
Yep.
Trade accepted.
Oh.
And you can see why. He's just going to play a Rock Smaller, so now the way is clear. Or clearer, anyway.
I mean, I think Shuhei's way is to just tap all his mana every turn.
That's
play
the
a
start.
creature.
Yes.
Each one bigger than the last.
So Greg is going to go ahead and attack. He does have that Titanic Growth. Shuhei's not going to want to risk his Rock Smallers if he can help it.
I mean, pretty happy with how this works out no matter what. Like, if he gets a Titanic Growth out of his opponent's hand there, he's like, okay.
He takes 0 damage, trades off a card, sure.
There's Eyeblight Assassin to finish off.
The Valor and Wardens.
Yeah, the Wardens.
This does mean that the Rock Smaulers has an attack here, though.
We know there's a Titanic Growth.
The Titanic Growth will ruin Shuhei Nakamura's day if he sends it in. Oh,
Tragic arrogance.
Shuhei playing around Titanic Growth and everything else here, getting a 2-for-1 and ensuring that the Rock Smaulers is going to hit Greg Orange and get that Renown 2 going.
Well, he's sitting on at least 1 suppression bonds.
Shuhei?
Shuhei.
So if Greg goes like attack, play a creature, leave up mana for Titanic Growth, and Shuhei just blows him out again. Shuhei is so good. It's a rabid bloodsucker in this case. So drain. Unfortunately for Greg, that does drop him down to 12. And he's going to actually just leave up both creatures here because he can double block and use his Titanic Growth. Or single block and use his Titanic Growth, though.
And he is going to have...
Amperin Tactician makes it a 7/7. Awkward. That is so sweet. Because both of his, now he has to basically throw the Bloodsucker in front of Titanic Growth and just 2-for-1 himself if he wants to get rid of it. Instead, he's just going to take the hit. And now Shuhei has a lethal Rock Smaulers. They're suppression bonds, and he gets to attack with both here. So he's going to go for the play, and Shuhei already knew. He just knew that entire time. He gets in for half of his life, and he plays a Timber Pack Wolf and passes.
Okay, there's an Undercity Troll.
That's interesting.
There's a suppression bond.
That's good. But we had Greg Orange at 3 there, right?
Maybe he just didn't want to keep playing.
He would have Chump Block and take 2?
Yeah. I guess Chump Block take 2. He's probably empty-handed. He doesn't have anything he can draw that can deal with 2 creatures.
It didn't look that way to me. It looked like I'm dead, I'm going to scoop.
Yeah.
Anyway, Shuhei Nakamura.
Could have been one lower. Could have missed a point of trample damage.
Yeah. He wins.
Yeah.
So he's one step closer. He happened so fast. I'm like, wait, that was the match? That's it.
All right. So we got Joel Larson here versus Daniel Jordan. Daniel Jordan playing in his triple PTQ.
Yeah, Dan decided to come here kind of last minute and said, well, if I win the GP, I get to play in Vancouver. Top 8 gets me for Milwaukee, and I'll be silver next season for another PT. And he's actually here in the top 8 with a chance to do it. Looks like a whole lot of trading happening here for both players.
So Joel Larson, just looking at his first picks. Lightning Javelin was his first pick of the draft. And ended up in blue.
Looks like Larson's in a great position here. He's got lethal in the air. And Dan Jordan's not doing much. He's just got a Crow and Jailer there. Yes. This is all lethal.
Subterranean Scout.
Doesn't matter. That's going to do it.
That's going to do it, but it's going to mean that game 3, Dan Jordan's up a game coming into this. So we're going to reset the life totals, shuffle them up, and play game 3. Dan Jordan in his first leg of his triple Pro Tour qualifier. Gets himself to Vancouver with a silver invite, has already accomplished the single qualifier part of getting himself invited to Pro Tour Battle for Zendikar, but a silver membership in the Pro Players Club would mean he would get another invite that he can cash next year.
And he would get the one to cash this year.
Right, that would be the Vancouver one.
With only one spot.
Right, if he gets the silver with one Pro Tour to go, he gets to go to the last Pro Tour. But then your silver membership also gives you one Pro Tour in the following season.
So it ends up being 3 total. 1 of 3 have been secured for Dan. But he would be going to Vancouver next week.
Yes, he would.
That's the thing.
Calling up the Pantheon, say, hey, can I get on the team?
I think we know the answer. Let me check the bylaws.
Yeah, maybe you can hook him up. Luis. Get him onto CFB.
Yeah. No. I think he'd be on his own for that one.
Yeah. So Dan Jordan, looking at like a little Boros list here. Wow. His pick 1 in Pack B here I'm trying to imagine what the remaining cards in this pack must have looked like.
Well, is it that bad? Or is it that good?
No, it's that bad. As far as I could tell, he opened a pack with 1 card and 14 tip cards.
It's that bad? What is it, an Amperin Tactician?
Enlightened Ascetic.
What? No, I don't believe you. What?
As far as I could tell, it was the only white and or red or non-artifact card in the pack. I don't know what else was in the pack.
That is just so disappointing if you're sitting in his seat. Jeez.
So he's got a very aggressive deck. Embermore Hellion was his first pick overall in the draft.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, that's a nice one. War Oracle, second pick, so he's Boros right out of the gate. Knight of the Pilgrim's Road, Mage Ring Bully, Chandra's Fury, Emperor Tactician. After that, Enlightened Aesthetic in pack B, he goes Acolyte of the Inferno, Mighty Leap, Dragon Fodder, Bogart Brute, and then a Crone Sergeant, Fiery Impulse, Bogart Brute, and Shrouding Mist in pack C. To give you an idea of what his first picks look like.
Yeah, nothing, no home runs there, but those are all playable, solid. Enlightened Aesthetic, my goodness.
I mean, just to give you an idea, he has an 8th pick. He's not playing either Enlightened Aesthetic. And he has one that came 8th pick in pack 3, just.
That's an early pick for him. Goodness sakes.
I mean.
We were going to ask him.
I've got to ask him. I can't even imagine.
Call a judge and say, can I have this inspected? This pack sucks.
Like Aesthetic, not a card you won't play, but you bring it in. It's got a nice little ability. It kills an enchantment, but
it's a sideboard card at the very best.
It is not doing what you want your red-white deck to be doing.
No.
Hitting hard. All right, both players are keeping. We're underway here in Game 3. Turn 2. Dragon Fodder for Daniel Jordan.
All right, so Dan's off to a start here. Yet to see how good of a start it is. One Maritime Guard kind of puts the halt to this. Let's see what he gets. Nothing. Yo Larson plays nothing.
Wow.
He did hit a land, but he just didn't play anything. And Dan's just going to pass a turn back, so no 3-drop for him.
And there is the Ram Roller. Smash to smithereens.
Oh.
Get that out of here.
Drops Yol down to 15.
There's a War Oracle.
All right, well, I like Dan Jordan's side of the equation here so far. Let's see if Yol can change my mind on that. He's got some work to do.
3 mana. He's going to play Claustrophobia. He's got a handful of those.
That's good. That was a big play for him. He's going to be able to deal with these goblins. Oh!
Oh, the Enlightened Aesthetic got it!
They just took out a Claustrophobia. Pack 2, pick 1 All-Star.
Look at it. He's pointing at it. He's like, by the way, I first picked that out of a pack.
I'm sure he just told him.
He was putting up the ting finger there.
Wow. And, hey, there's one of the Whirler Rogues. We saw 2 of these just flying around the table.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Joel Larson said he got it like 5th or 6th, and he was like,
he did?
He said, saved my draft.
He probably has 2. There were 2. Oh, no. Chandra's Fury now.
Oh,
which means that the goblins can attack, too, because they trade for the Whirler Rogue now. Wow. Dan Jordan firing on all cylinders. This is one of those times when you're in Larson's seat where you're just like, he had every answer for everything I did. Smash to smithereens for my artifact. Aesthetic for my
first
thing.
Pick Enlightened Aesthetic.
Yes, and now he gets to take out the 2 Thopters and do a big chunk of 4 damage to Yol with Chandra's Fury. So this is going to be a really tough game for Larson to win, to fight through effectively 3 sideboard cards.
And Daniel Jordan's going to be at 23 when the dust settles too.
And maybe has a renowned War Oracle on top of all of that.
I mean, do you have to kill something here? You have to.
I mean, if you do your trading.
Yeah.
He could be trading
if
for
he
a
does
goblin.
that, he goes to 2.
So he probably just has to chomp.
Joel's got his head in his hand. He's like,
He's just going to take it all and go to 2. Or go to 1.
Go to 1.
And Dan Jordan has no incentive to do anything other than turn all of his creatures sideways. Mage Ring Bully's not going to get the job done here. He can't cast 2 Disperses. I think we're going to see Dan Jordan just shift the team here, and we might just be calling this one good right now. What a beating.
And does he get to declare that Enlightened Aesthetic deals the fatal point of damage?
Sure, we'll give it to him. He first picked the thing. I can't take that away from him. Attack, 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 attack. Wait, there's more.
Mighty Leap
to make yet another lethal threat here. And that's going to do it.
Oh, shows him a Hydra Lash.
Wow, so the Mighty Leap actually got him around it. I mean, he could have just waited.
Right.
But whatever, he made it so it couldn't be blocked. And that's it. Dan Jordan advances to the semi, so the triple PTQ is live.
Wow, so we got history moving forward, and we've got the triple PTQ moving forward. Oh, by the way, Shuhei Nakamura and Dan Jordan cannot meet until the finals, the way the bracket plays out.
Okay.
Now, there you see Ross Merriam.
Yeah, you see him in the blue shirt there in the back.
Yeah, playing against R.A. Wisnitzer.
Wisnitzer.
And yeah, we're gonna go and take a look at our back table.
Oh, I just saw a handshake there, by the way. I don't actually know who won.
I mean, Ross Marion's like, that was a triumphant scoop.
Okay,
of cards.
but he extended the hand, so that kind of throws me off. But he's got a big smile on his face. I would assume Ross won. All right, but why don't we check out the?
Yeah, let's watch the turbo match here. David Ochoa. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the. Yeah, this is Nathaniel Smith versus David Ochoa.
Yeah, that's the Ochoa on the right there.
Wait, what is David Ochoa doing there? Majoring network?
Yep. He's leveling up.
Okay. And holding steady with a Crow and Sargent. Yep. Crow and Sargent gets pushed out of the way with Reeves Soul. And in comes 4 damage. Eyeblade Assassin takes down a Thopter. Yeah. Haste Creature trades with the Eyeblade Assassin. Macabre Waltz. Get back my Crowan Sergeant and play my blocker. 2-3 gets in though. Oh, there's a Blazing Hellhound. Ochoa gets in. Gets himself.
He's just going to play the Assassin.
Yeah, and then just plays the Assassin. Now look at this. Chump blocks the Hellhound.
This is not looking good for Ochoa. Where's all that removal that he picked?
Starts throwing creatures. There you go. Clears the way and attacks for lethal. Two players look at their sideboards. Through the miracle of science, we hurry through the whole process. And we're underway. Guardians of Miletus for David Ochoa, holding back the Thopter Engineer, while an Eyeblade Assassin takes care of the Thopter token. But there's more gears to be ground here for the red deck.
Yeah, they all get haste. Not exactly the matchup that Ochoa was hoping for, although that Fetid Imp does a nice job of holding back Thopters. You know, Ochoa with his 5-mana spot removal spells against a bunch of sort of disposable
Tell me about
creatures
Ochoa's
isn't great.
deck. You were watching this draft.
I was watching it. He first picked Consul's Lieutenant, but then moved off of white quite quickly.
So read the bones here from Nathaniel Smith. He's digging for cards. Reeves Soul takes out the Fetid Imp and starts attacking with the Thopter token. The first Prickle Boar has arrived.
Yeah, the first of what could be many. He is playing 3.
Oh.
He's playing 3 Prickle Boar.
Hangerback Walker.
Oh, that's good. That's a tough one to deal with here, especially If Ochoa kills them,
Oh, look at that. And it has haste.
they will get.
It has haste, so he's able to put a counter on it immediately.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
He's able to play it for 2 counters and then put a 3rd counter on.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Ocho here. He does have a prickle bore beating down, and he just played a Blightcaster, so it's not over. But, you know, the Thopters would have haste as well, and right now Ocho just can't do anything about creatures in the air, and his deck isn't particularly well suited to beat a bunch of small evasive creatures. It's more suited to beat like what Shuhei's doing. You know, rock Smallers, kill your Rock Smallers.
Throwing Victor comes down, takes the Blightcaster, swings in with everybody.
Ocho's going to make a trade.
Fleshbag Marauder, I'll sacrifice your Blightcaster.
Oh, no. Wow. That's a sweet play from Nathaniel Smith, temporarily stealing the Blightcaster and then sacrificing it to his own Fleshbag Marauder to leave David Ochoa with just 1 creature left. His life total waning and staring down a really nice board state here from Nathaniel. Smith is like, wait a minute, what? Am I getting languished here?
Certainly feels that way. Did he open a languish?
No. Doesn't have one. I don't know what Ocho's plan is here. It's Cobble Brute. And that's going to be Nathaniel Smith breathing a sigh of relief, as it makes the Pricklebore attack look more like a desperation attack than a planned type attack. And in comes the team.
Just more haste.
And more haste, and that's it.
Wow. Nathaniel Smith. 2 games to nothing here against David Ochoa.
It was nice to have Ocho back in the top 8.
Absolutely.
He didn't last long. The deck wasn't great. It was okay, though. But